Hey, good evening, guys. Or good morning, probably, when you're seeing this. I was feeling kind of motivated at night, so I decided to record a video. Normally, I have the morning sun coming in the window right here, but now I have this obnoxiously bright lamp in my face so you guys can see what is going on. We are going to be doing a quick grammar lecture today, so this video will be slightly longer. I apologize, but I'll do my best to keep it concise, okay? So I will start sharing my screen and we're going to jump right into it. Up to this point, last chapter, we started learning about the preterite for the first time. I created this presentation about the use of the preterite, how to conjugate verbs, and the AR, right? So I'm not going to go through this whole thing. This will be posted on Schoology for you. We have some of the phrases that go along with it. Remember, we use a preterite to talk about one-off things that happened in the past. Usually we use those with phrases like ayer, anoche, la semana pasada, el otro día, hace 5 días, something like that, to talk about something that happened in the past, okay? Remember that conjugating verbs is exactly the same. We take off the ending, AR, ER, or IR, and then we add our new verb endings, okay? So this is all the information from last chapter. But now we're going to be working with ER and IR verbs. Last chapter, we only did AR verbs. And now we're going to learn the new endings for ER and IR verbs, okay? So those same phrases apply here. We're still talking about yesterday, last week, last year, 5 years ago, last summer, the other day. There's an infinite amount of phrases, but these are some of the more popular ones, okay? Oopsies, I forgot to make an edit here. Let's change that really quickly. How to conjugate ER and IR. Verbs in the preterite. There you go, easy peasy. See, the process is so similar, that's really all you have to change, all right? So, step number one. With all of our verb conjugations, we take the verb ending off. We remove the ER or the IR, all right? So if our infinitive verb is comer, we're left with com. If it's escribir, we're left with escrib. And if it's salir, we're left with sal. That's it. So take the ending off first before we put our conjugated ending on, okay? Here are the new endings. Remember, for AR verbs, they were aste, o, amos, astes, aron. For ER and IR verbs, they're very similar. You'll see a similar pattern, but they're slightly different, okay? So now our endings are iste, io, imos, istes, ieron. Okay, so instead of aste, o, we now are iste, io. Instead of amos, astes, and aron, we're imos, istes, ieron. Okay, remember this is all in the same presentation, so if you want to go back and compare the two, feel free to do that. All right, so take some notes on this. This presentation will be on Schoology for you to finish taking notes. I use the verb aprender, que significa to learn, as an example. All right, so I have 6 example sentences here with a subject and the matching verb ending. Okay, so remember my first step, my verb is aprender. I take off the ER and then I add the verb ending, iste, io, imos, istes, ieron, that matches the subject of the sentence. So if my subject is yo, for something that I'm doing, yo aprendí mucho en la clase de español. I learned, remember this is the past, I learned a lot in Spanish class. I hope that's true. ¿Qué aprendiste tú en la reunión? Which is a meeting. What did you learn in the meeting? El señor Panco aprendió español cuando estudió en España. Mr. Panco learned Spanish when he studied in Spain. Mis amigos y yo, remember the same thing as nosotros, anybody plus ourselves is we, aprendimos nada. No aprendimos nada, we didn't learn anything. That's not true. Aprendiste vosotros su nombre? Did you learn his name or her name? Ellas aprendieron algo cuando visitaron la universidad. They learned something when they visited the university. Okay. That is the end of today's presentation. So remember, the process is very, very similar to what we're used to. We are just using ER and IR verb endings. And that's what we have to take notes on and get used to. So for today's practice, I have a nice and easy workbook activities for you. So again, here are some notes to get you going. This should be a pretty easy process. You know how and when to use the preterite already. Now you just need to learn the new endings for ER and IR verbs, okay? So section A, just fill in the blank. It's very, very simple. Tu comiste, right? And then you fill out all of the different blocks, okay? Second part, circle the correct thing. Go to shapes. They call it an ellipse now. It's not a circle anymore. Okay, Sophia. So if my subject is Sophia, that's one singular person. So I need to use the usted or L or ella form, which is io. So I would choose Sofia comió en un restaurante mexicano. Beautiful. In part C, you now have to type it in, the answer all on your own. Nosotros. So remember, my first step is take off the IR, a scribe. And now I have to think, okay, what's my nosotros ending? Imos. Okay, beautiful. So we go back down, we add our ending, escribimos. There you go, that's simple. And then finally, in step D, you have to form your own sentences using some verbs that you should know. Escribir, correr, and some new verbs for our comer, from our new vocab list. Okay, so as long as the verb matches the subject, your sentence can be whatever you want it to be, okay? And that will be today's practice. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm available all day. As many of you know, I answer emails after school, do my best to help you at any time. Please be understanding, obviously, I'm available 100% between, 8 and 3:30. And I usually available after school too, okay? So let me know. We can Zoom, I can explain things, whatever you think it's gonna take to get you to understand. We'll figure it out, okay? Anyway, love you guys, miss you, and let me know if you need any help. Bye-bye.